All right, so this, I didn't actually name this. Zero to NFT feels right. First off, I'm not a NFT expert by any stretch of the imagination. So if you're here for the expert NFT, there's probably one happening somewhere down the road, but not here. But if you want to hear a story about discovering NFTs, learning how to create them, kind of getting thrown to the wolves, working with one of the biggest Hollywood icons in the business, and learning and figuring out, doing some really cool stuff along the way. That's what this one's about. I have notes, so apologies first and foremost, but I want to make sure I don't forget anything. I will be quick and not, it won't take forever. So I would love for this to be more conversational. Because this is a learning session, I want to make sure that if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask in the middle. Like I said, I have notes. You can interrupt. I can pick it right back up. So can anyone hear me that wants to hear me? Is it good? Okay. So yeah, I have notes. We'll go through that. And yeah, let's get started. Oh, yeah. Here we go. That's me. So yeah, that is me. My name is Chris Bomely. I'm currently living in Austin. I've been here for about 16 years by way of San Francisco Bay Area. Any San Francisco? Love it. Thank you. Good. I'm a husband. I'm a dad. I'm a designer. I'm a creative director. I'm a podcast host. Dad's drinking beer, if anyone wants to check that out. Occasional golfer, but most of all, I'm an artist. And that's kind of the thing that gravitated me towards this whole crazy thing that we're doing right now. So I was always that kid that was putting together and taking apart and putting together, stereos and skateboards and painting on skateboards and making stuff. I was making logos for my crew of friends doing skateboard stuff before I even knew that there were logos. That was kind of my big deal. Always doodling. That was kind of my whole thing. And when I figured out, oh yeah, next slide. When I figured out, I don't know, how do you want to do that? Just say next, you'll see? Okay. When I figured out that this is what I was going to do for a living, I thought that what I was going to get into was traditional advertising, and I spent many years, still kind of do it, but I do traditional advertising. I've worked in big shops, I've worked as an art director, a designer, creative director, freelance, hired gun. I don't want to say I've done everything, but I've done a ton. I'm old, so yeah. But yeah, I've done a bunch of different stuff. And I think that one thing that kind of happened organically was I was able to adapt quickly, and these kind of old school creative directors saw that there was this somewhat younger person coming in who basically called themselves a digital designer, and kind of put me into that hole, and which is fine by me because you got to eat, and I got a kid, and you got to keep them fed, and that's a whole thing. So the fact that I was able to adapt, that was a big deal, and that kind of applies to this whole NFT creation thing too. So I feel like where we are or where I was with digital creative in a traditional advertising sense applies to where we are now, because I feel like there's a big shift happening with this new media. There's a whole new form and how we're touching and how we're getting eyeballs. That's where we are, and where we were. I'm not saying it's gone. I don't think print is dead. I don't think that the traditional media is gone. I don't think media spend is going to stop. Eyeballs are still going to be driving around, hopefully, looking at billboards, looking at printed media. But I think that there's a huge opportunity for us. We're at I hate this word, but we're at the precipice of this whole new thing. So that's kind of how I got into this whole deal. Next slide. Yeah, I've spent, like I said, a lot of time in traditional advertising. I currently work for a company called Chive Media Group. Anyone know what the Chive is? Really? Okay. Yeah, we still got it. Yeah, we're still around. So that's good. Yeah, I work with Chive Media Group. I've been there for about 8 years now. One thing that the Chive has been able to do is we were kind of a Web 1. I hate the whole Web 2, 3 thing, but yeah, we were a Web 1 product doing a photo blog, traditional style, and we've since really ramped up, and we now have kind of become like an incubator for some of these new brands and products that are available. If you live in Austin, you most likely have seen Atmosphere TV. or Chive TV, something along those lines. That's a big thing that we kind of helped create. I was kind of creative lead, creative director, designed the logo on that whole project. William Murray Golf, if anyone here casually golfs and enjoys drinking beer, you probably know what William Murray Golf is. It's Bill Murray's golf apparel line, so that's kind of cool. And kind of the latest thing I've been working on is this Project Venkman thing, where it's this is the whole new arm for us. This is a whole new crypto NFT space that we're kind of starting to get into. One thing that is kind of, you can kind of see with the brands that I've worked with, and this is just a couple of them, is I've worked with passion brands, and I think that's one of the things that it does go back into this whole NFT space is, Nike, Shiner, Yeti, Whataburger, Levi's, Converse, these brands, these people that love these brands, they love them no matter what they do, and that's a big thing. And I've been able to somehow, some way, kind of nestle a nice little spot right in there and work with these brands on many capacities, whether it be a full-time role, a hired gun, some kind of project that's a side project. So it's been really, really fun. I was doing that for a long time, and then again, like I said, I had a kid, and you got to keep them fed, and that's a big deal. So I had to get a real job. Next slide. So I started working at the Chive, and that to me was one of those things where I didn't want to do it, honestly. They actually came after me, and I was like, I don't want to work at the Chive. That's not my thing. It's a little too bro-y. I was kind of hesitant to even get involved with it. I was definitely going to go more in keep on the traditional advertising front. But what really hooked me was the charity component. They've raised $17 million for charity for rare and incurable diseases, whether it be children, adults. They do a ton of money for military, a ton of money for first responders. They are deep into the charity arm, and that's where I was really kind of like, okay, I think I get into this. I mean, the day I started, we did a campaign. It was $250,000 in 12 minutes for some kid. So that to me was like, I got it. I want to do something like that. So that was a big deal for me. Also, they have a cool office. It won coolest office in Austin before the whole pandemic thing happened. So that's pretty cool. They have 2 bars. They have a slide. They have a slide. They have a whole thing. So going into kind of that whole thing. Yeah. Oh, you're one ahead of me. It's all right. So this is when I talk about passion brands, this is like it happening in real life. Trust me, this all gets around to NFTs. Trust me. You talk about passion brands, this is it right here. This is activation directly. So we were literally a digital publisher creating a photo blog with memes and things, and it activated a huge community of people that would get together and raise money for a fire station that's going to go out of business or a kid that needs some help. So this is a big deal. And again, this all does relate to NFTs, trust me. It's fun to work with this project, and it's fun to help. And I've been, like I said, been there for 8 years, so I enjoy it. Next slide. And I felt that when I got there, passion brand, I had it written. It was written all over passion brand, so I was there. I felt that we could help with simple things like T-shirts and coins and have fun with this thing. Because again, you see people walking around, they're wearing your T-shirts, they're doing this thing. That's actual real world stuff. People are into your what you're making and creating, and it's physical, tangible things. That was pretty exciting. And again, the charity, $17 million. I just want to point that out. I'll bring that up one more time because that's pretty rad. But one of the coolest things ever, next one. One of the coolest things ever was getting to work with the man, the myth, the legend, Bill Murray. He's had one thing happening recently, which is, it's not even a big deal, supposedly, so we're fine. But I get to work with Bill Murray. I got to work with Bill with creating his golf apparel line. I worked with his 6 brothers and his 2 sisters. His 2 sisters have taken the vow of silence because of the nunhood. But Bill is everything you want Bill Murray to be. He is kind of the unofficial icon of Chive, and he has kind of embraced it, kind of not really wholeheartedly, but sort of. But he loves a check, so we pay him handsomely, so he's on board for that. So next slide. How does this even connect to NFTs? I think that one thing that we felt was pretty apparent. We were seeing things happen. We were seeing successful campaigns going on. We were, whether it be this or that, it was like, why are we not involved? We have all the right stuff. We have all the right, the secret sauce, if you will. So next slide. This is, I made this little this little graphic. So yeah, we have a passion brand. We have a super digital focus. We have the icon in Bill Murray. We have the storytelling, which was a big piece of it all, because the Chive, we do a lot of storytelling in the photo blogs. There's a whole bunch of that happening. There's a community. We knew there was people that love art. So we felt if we can do this right, it will be right. It won't be a money grab. That was a big thing for us. We wanted to make sure this was not going to come off as Bill Murray just trying to, get his bag and be out. We wanted to make sure this would be for our community, and Bill would just be a piece of that. So the only problem was, next slide, I didn't know shit about NFTs at the time. I literally knew very little. I was very wet behind the ears, and I was being asked to create, conceptualize, basically design, lead this project that was kind of a big deal in our company. And I had done stuff, like I said, Atmosphere, William Murray Golf, a bunch of stuff with Chive that was huge, and it went well. But this was something that I don't think any one of us that were working at the time, at the beginning, thought this was going to be a thing. Again, this is 10 months process, and we're still haven't launched yet, teaser. But the first time I ever saw an NFT that kind of like got my blood flowing was a designer by the name of Ryan Putnam. And if you guys are familiar with Ryan Putnam, the guy is amazing. Highly recommend following this guy. Next slide. This guy, again, I was following Instagram on the couch one night looking at his stuff, and he said, and it was very matter of fact, it was new release available on Foundation, check it out. And I clicked on it and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is Foundation, this is thing. And again, I recommend looking at them because they move, these pictures move, and it's a computer generated algorithm that basically of all these different paintings that he's done to create these different things. And they're beautiful. And so I said, I want one of those. So I went to go try to buy one. And I couldn't because I didn't have a wallet. I didn't have any of the stuff. It was like, wait, but I want one of these. And then I looked, and they were $5,000, and it was ridiculous. And I go, wait, do I get one? Again, this is the challenge. This is the hurdle I was having of how do I get from there to here? This was the first thing, and I thought, and actually I tried to buy one last night when I was kind of putting the finishing touches on this deck. I tried to buy one, and I didn't have enough ETH in my wallet, so he's still doing well. Next slide. Before we get too far, I want to make sure, does anyone have any questions before I keep moving? Are we feeling pretty good? I'm going to take a sip of this beverage. Good? All right. We'll keep moving. I guess where we were next was, what do? We knew that Bill Murray was on board. We knew that, obviously, we were going to keep going. We had to figure out what we were going to do. We were seeing a bunch of stuff coming out with, obviously, the usual suspects, right? Next slide. With Bored Ape, obviously everyone knows that. Next one. CryptoPunks, keep going. Stoner Cats, which, so we got all these. The next one. And then, these Moonbirds. So do we do that? Do we do the thing that everyone else is doing? It was a long conversation. We had pitched so many different things. Next slide. The one thing that we kind of first started gravitating towards was this initial idea. I had a call with my CTO, which, again, he never calls me on my phone, but he called me. I also never talk on my phone, but he called me and said, hey, I think we should just do 100. Let's test them, see if people are interested, and see what we do next. And it was literally, let's just take this Bill Murray 3D that we've done. We've sold, I think, $75 million in T-shirts with this thing on it. Let's just do different glasses, different backgrounds, different stuff, and see what happens. Again, that seemed like a real money grab, but we were like, let's just test it. We did it. Sorry, go back to that real quick. Sorry. We did it, and it looked terrible. It looked stupid. It didn't feel right. It was flat. It didn't have any of the things. Side note, we also didn't have the digital rights to use that source image, so we had to put a kibosh on that real quick. Then we did the next one, where we basically took an image that we had the rights to, which is a picture of Bill Murray while he was in our office, and we basically created all these different kind of versions of Bill Murray in the big Ern McCracken with the hair, the Space Jam, Steve Zissou, the Venkman, and we thought, hey, if we do the Venkman here with the backpack, can we put the backpack on him when he's wearing the stripes thing? And we're like, hey, there's an idea. So that was kind of like first idea. And first off, I want to apologize. I can't show you what the NFTs are going to look like, but they will be pretty sweet. So we couldn't do this because we couldn't do movie characters. That was where we hit another skid. So we thought, what are we going to do now? So next slide, we figured a good pivot would be if we took these stories of Bill Murray. There's always these stories of him grabbing a French fry off someone's plate, or the story of him showing up in someone's wedding photos, or him, in the airport. There's these stories that these people have. And so what we ended up doing, we created 100 stories with Bill Murray. That's this thing. This is not like, oh, hey, we're going to make these stories. There's books, there's documentaries, all these things out there that have tried to do this, and they've done it. We're literally working with Bill. We have photos, videos, conversations back and forth, meeting with Bill, and he's super into it, which has been helpful. And he's reiterating some of these stories that are great. And I feel like this is way more authentic. This feels right. There's also the huge component to the NFTs that are going to be, you're going to get access to these insane events where I've heard there's going to be a zip line, and I've heard Bill Murray's going to be on that said zip line at 73 years old, which I don't know how that's going to go. But also there's going to be a cake involved. He's going to be baking cakes, so that'll be kind of fun. Next slide. So this is kind of like the teaser page that we ended up coming up with. It's this beautiful GIF of kind of like a curtain teasing the idea. We have been gathering emails for this. We are like on the precipice, using that word again. I know it's super hot, Mike. We're on the edge of this thing happening. It's going to be happening soon, like real soon. So if you can, I think I put a QR code right here. If you want to, if you're interested, you could definitely get that QR code. And I highly recommend doing that because you can get on the list. We're trying to give away one of these NFTs. We've had like a couple of situations, 6 different situations where we tried to give these away. People, because of, rightfully so, the people are nervous about scams. So, but yeah, if you sign up, we're going to try to give one of these away. They could be very, very cool. Hopefully very, very valuable. Next slide. I think for me, the next thing was, again, I can't show you the NFTs, unfortunately, but I have other things to show. But what I understood with NFTs was I got it. I understood what people were into. I understood that you would spend $3,000 for a vinyl figure that would sit on your desk. I understood that you would wait in line for a pair of sneakers. I understood the insane feeling you would get if you owned that Bill Ripken fuckface baseball card as a kid. That was everything, vintage, retro, the Keith Haring, you've seen it in real life. There are some things that are inherent with art and collectibles that I understood with NFTs, and I thought that was something that I related with pretty quickly. So that was when I said, I think I got it. I'm ready for the next step. Next slide. So now it was time to learn stock imagery. I don't know who those people are. But I had to figure it out. I had to figure out what I was going to do. I knew we had Bill Murray on board. I knew we had some stuff, but I had to figure out a project that I could do and I could create on my own and learn. And so I figured the next step, next one, was talking to everybody, talking to people, learning people. People over at Venkman, like Brennan over there, everyone right there, and sweet baby Jacob, he's right there. Gavin, Rick, everyone over at Venkman. I was over there every single day for the longest period of time, and I still go over there quite a bit. And I asked so many questions. I was probably so annoying to them, but Gavin would recommend podcasts. I'd watch YouTubes. I was definitely stuck in the algorithm watching a YouTube video after YouTube video. But what I was into was the creating of the NFTs, not necessarily the value of the trading or necessarily the hype behind it. I was into what's the creation process. And again, people are gonna. Some people would definitely show you. Go back real quick. Some people will show you kind of like, hey, here's what I did. Here's this thing. This is actually what I use. This was a tool that was kind of recommended in Venkman. We talked about it a lot. Is this nifty generator? And if you guys are interested in creating NFTs, actually, I meant to ask this earlier. Who has created NFTs, minted, and done a whole thing? Okay, all right, that's it. Pretty good. So like a full NFT project, or even like a NFT. There's a whole learning curve, and to create a collection is even more. So this is literally the tool that I use. I feel like this graphic pretty sums it up pretty well. Basically, you upload the layers, it spits out however many you want. I'm sure there's like a fee that you pay, but I basically poked around on this for quite some time, tried 3 different projects, and kept going. It was literally me. This is the beginning of the whole thing. I was trying a couple different things, and it kind of resulted in a really cool project in the kind of accidentally birthed this really cool project. Next slide. Oh yeah, any questions? This is another old dude asking questions. I love this guy, by the way. Any questions? No? Okay. All right, we're good? Okay, we'll keep going. Okay, so next thing was I basically had to learn how to create these NFTs. So if you kind of go through this one, Tyler, it's like basically next. So it's basically I created the backgrounds. Next one, created the shirts, and there's like 6 different shirts. There's about 6 different heads and faces. Next one, there's about, whatever, all these different heads, hair, faces, different facial hair, hats, and then accessories that would be added. And basically from that came regular dudes, which is this thing that it was a test project, right? It was this full-on test project, and the idea was, it's not even a dress rehearsal, it's not even a dry run, it's a complete and total project, start to finish. How do we do this? What do we do now? We give these out to people in our office. We create this hype. We created a Discord. We did a whole bunch of stuff. We made this thing. It became an NFT project kind of accidentally. And in turn, it's taught us a ton. I mean, I would say, yes? Okay, I agree. So we learned so much. All these different things. We learned all about rarity and how we apply those. We did attributes. We figured out how this thing works. We allowed, if you had one, you get access to this. If you don't have one, you get access to the Discord, but you can't get into this certain thing. People were literally coming up to me who I have no idea who they are. How do I get one of these regular dudes? Again, it was kind of a joke, but it was like, this is exactly what it is. And I think that a lot of people think, oh, you got to have all these different things, bigger pictures, but let's just create something kind of cool. So we and there's no approval process. There's no, you got to run this by so-and-so or make sure so-and-so, you got to wait 10 days to get approval back. This is literally, created it, we did it. I made this the other day because it looks like the Simpsons thing is going to get approved. I don't know, but I did it anyway. So next slide. So yeah, so we ended up making, let me go to the next slide. Okay. So we ended up making, I think we have 36, 7 now, 35 now. Where our plan is to do 69 because we're dudes and we're, but yeah, we're going to do a whole bunch. And the whole thing was, in the process of learning this, we're going to learn how to create these things. We're going to, certain people are going to learn their roles and actually apply it to this project. Other people are going to learn, we had a Discord manager. What is that person going to learn and how are they going to apply it to this? We learned so much. On top of it, I learned kind of like unlockable content. That's a whole big deal. And unlockable content basically means if you get one of these dudes, you ended up getting one I would end up giving you one who looks like you. So you basically, the whole idea would be you get one, you either purchase or are gifted one, dropped one, and then you get one that's looked like you because you have one, that unlockable content, and then hopefully, maybe one day, they're worth a ton of money. You sell the one that was given and you keep the one that was yours. Cool thing is, I think we're going to try to drop one of these in Bill Murray's wallet too. So this might be worth more than anyone knows. So yeah, this could be really cool. Next slide. So yeah, so now we have Regular Dudes Official. It's kind of gone a little crazy. I enjoy it. It's fun still. I think one thing that it taught us is that we can fail with this regular dudes thing. We failed probably 3 or 4 times just trying to figure out different things. We can't fail with the Bill Murray thing. We got to have everything figured out, buttoned up, ready to go. Because if we did fail with the Bill Murray thing, we're screwed. There's no backup. This was backup. We could do this. We were doing giveaways. People were going crazy. And I say crazy. People were like literally being excited about this, like the fact that we were doing giveaways for a literal Coors banquet beer, physical beer. If you were a part of this giveaway, you win a Coors banquet beer. So this is pretty cool. What else? A couple more slides. Yeah. So created a website. Regular Dudes official. It's actually regulardudes.website. So it's an amazing website. It literally is this. But the Discord's active. We're all talking. We're having fun. I think one thing I want to do, and I've been told we can do this, is I want to be able to give away a regular dude. So I sent Jacob one of these NFTs. At the end of this slide, or the end of this deck, I have my information. First person to kind of like text me through that, I'm going to give, and who has a wallet, I'm going to give a regular dude to. And so, again, a regular dude, yeah. So we're doing it. So again, like I said, it's going in one of these Bill Murray wallets. This could be bigger than anything. I'm excited about it. And then a couple things, like some key takeaways. Next slide. So key takeaways. Next one. So this is something I heard a long time ago, and I believe in this firmly, is you never learn anything by listening to yourself talk. I'm a big believer in, especially when you're kind of learning something new in a space that is maybe not familiar. For me, I realized the less I spoke in some of these meetings that we had, the more I learned, and that's really what comes down to. So I'm a big believer in that. Next one. This is something I really did. I really did. And I remember consciously saying to myself, I'm going to learn one thing every day about this whole landscape that I'm in. Because if it was literally, one day I would try to get my wallet connected to my Coinbase, and there would be a blocker. And then I would try to upload something to the banner. It couldn't work. I would try to mint something. It wouldn't work. I was trying, and every single day I would learn one thing. And I feel like I'm preaching this, but it helps because there's so much time has gone by between the beginning and now. And again, like I said at the beginning, I'm not an expert, but I've done a couple things, more than some. But that was a big thing. Learn something. Learn one thing every time. Next one. Share what you learn. This is a big thing. This is why I'm here today. Is like, I wish I had someone like me 10 months ago. I wish I had someone like, hey, here's the thing. It's not that hard. Try this, do that. Because truthfully, if someone would just open up, because definitely a lot of people were there for me and helped me, and I had questions. But again, it's confusing. It's confusing. And this world that we're embarking on, and all the people here that are choosing to get into this, it's confusing. For the regular person coming in, it's definitely crazy. So next one. That let people help you. That's a big one. That was one Brennan and SBJ helped me with a big time. I was very much, and again, traditional advertising world, you keep everything close to the vest. And this is something that, with this new space that we're in, get people to help you. You want people, because I could get it to a certain point, and then I needed people to help me get past that. And if it's going to be anything, and this is the Bill Murray thing, this is also the regular dudes thing. If I just held on to it, it would have just capped at whatever it was. Because we let people help, and these guys have now helped so much, it could potentially be bigger. And you guys being here could also be pretty cool. Next one. This is I believe in this in like my life, actually. Give yourself a deadline. This is a big deal because in general, if I do not have a deadline, even my wife, if she says, hey, can you take the garbage out? If she does not say take it out now, I literally will be like, I'll get to it when I get to it. Give yourself a deadline, especially in this space. Everything moves so quick. If you are not giving yourself a deadline, you will miss it. Give yourself the deadline. Next one. Things I wish I knew. Next one. It's not that hard. You just got to try. You just got to create something. I'm assuming that people are here because we're all in the learning session. You're creators, whether you're photographers, whether you're musicians, whether you're artists, painters, potters, that you take pictures of your pottery, whatever you're doing, do it because this is literally the new Web3 landscape is for the creators, and that is where we are, and I embrace that wholeheartedly. So do it. It's not that hard. Next one. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's something that my CEO said to me all the time. If you let perfect get in the way, you're never going to get anything done. So please, please, please get it up, get it on. If you in this instance, get it up on the blockchain. And if it sucks and you hate it, take it off. If someone buys it, obviously you're screwed. But hey, if someone buys it, you're in a better position. So next one, it's okay not to know something. Oh yeah, that's true. If you don't know what's going on, you are probably not alone, because that's a big thing. I've asked some stupid questions. These guys will tell you I only ask stupid questions. I feel like it's kind of my thing. I ask a ton of stupid questions, and I feel like it's okay if you don't know the answer, or even if you don't even pretend to know the answer. Just ask the question. Next one. Have fun. Honestly, I think unless you're doing it for a client, if you're doing it, obviously all these new projects that are coming out, new things happening, you might be up against a deadline that's not self-imposed, all these different things, but try to have fun. I do believe at the heart of this, especially where we are now in these collectibles and these NFTs, I do believe it's fun. And if we do it right, it's going to come through in the collectible aspect. People will be more excited about collecting it too. If the Discord's active, you guys are having fun, and all of a sudden someone comes in, it's like you go to Discord and the party's happening. People are excited about it, but if it's a dead Discord, why would anyone want to be hanging out there? So, next one. So yes, please connect with me. This is my OpenSea account. I have a ton of different NFTs that I have that are my own different things. This is it. Next one. So this is my LinkedIn profile. This is the code here. If you could scan that, the first person, my phone is down in the green room there, but the first person that gets it will get an NFT, will get a regular dude. So please, if that doesn't work, please make sure to get that. I want to make sure everyone can scan that. So I don't want to get in the way. We're good? Good? Okay. All right, next slide. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. I guess I'll open it up to questions. I don't know if I can answer them, but I'll try my best. Next, if we have any questions? Oh, you're going to run her? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Alex, everybody. Hey, thank you. Hey.
Hey, Chris. So what was your most challenging aspect throughout this whole journey?
Wow, that's a really good question. Most challenging aspect was literally trying to pretend that I knew, or at least come off like I knew what I was doing when I didn't. And that's the thing, is that I had to basically be confident in what I was about to do. Every step of the way I had to learn. And I think that's challenging. That's extremely challenging. So that's why I put it upon myself to learn this thing, the whole regular dudes thing. As cool as it may have been, or as funny or silly, whatever it is, the idea was that whole thing was to learn, and it has been so valuable in a sense of, it's crazy. Some people come to me and they want to get their wallets. Hey, I want a regular dude. Do you have a wallet? And all of a sudden I became, I don't want to even say, because these guys will laugh at me, I became the expert in certain aspects of this in my office, and now they're coming to me, they want to get their wallet sent up, they want to get the OpenSea account, they want to start doing it. I have a buddy in our work who's a motion designer, and he's like, I should be doing this, and it's like, yes, you should be doing it. So the most challenging part was pretending, or at least faking it till I made it, fake it till you make it kind of a thing, until I did. And that's tough, because especially in work, when it's just your own thing, you could fake it till you make it all day long. But when you're getting paid to do so, you got to make it pretty quick. So, that's the thing. Any other questions? I feel like there's got to be more questions. One more question. No?
So I got one. So as a dude holder,
yes.
When are we going to have Dude Fest?
Dude Fest. Yeah. So we are working on a couple of really cool things. Once the Bill Murray thing launches, we will definitely pivot to focus more attention on the regular dudes and just kind of what that thing does. I have grand goals of doing a breakfast cereal. That's like one of my things I've always wanted to do, is a breakfast cereal. I think regular dude breakfast cereal would be amazing. I think a taco truck, we've talked about, maybe even donuts. Downuts has been talked about, bringing it out, dropping knowledge, he told it. No, Dude Fest. The only problem with Dude Fest, you have to be careful with how that thing goes down. But yeah,
Right on. Well, if worst comes to worst, we'll put it on Calpe Drive.
Exactly.